This interview is brought to you by the Pro Fight Shop in Hollywood. It's Radio Rahim. You know, Peter Berg.
Better looking since last year.
I lost weight. No, I did.
And healthier. You look good.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. It's true. Well, the last year when I was here, this was your club alone, or I think with Gary Shandling, right?
Yes.
And it was very private. I mean, as beautiful as it is now. But talk to me about how it's now become the Wild Card West.
Well, it's still me and Gary Shandling, and I was talking to Freddie Roach, who's an old friend of mine, and he was kind of not complaining, but making it clear that the wild card in Hollywood is, you know, obviously doing super well, and it's so crowded, there's no room. And I started thinking, and I had this crazy idea that I imagine wild card spreading, and I imagine the wild card London, I imagine a wild card Moscow, wild card Beijing, a wild card Bangkok. And I started joking around with Freddie. I said, what about it? You know, I mean, we could spread the word and keep boxing, you know, certainly alive, since UFC seems to be dominating so much today. And maybe we could start branching out and look for new fighters. And he laughed. I said, well, why don't we start on the west side where I live? And, you know, I had this gym. He said, okay. We changed the name to Wild Card West, and, you know, Freddie comes down every once in a while, and, you know, Freddie's trainers have come down here, and we've got some of his trainers working here. And we're real happy with how it's growing, and the goal would be to eventually be Wild Card London, Wild Card Moscow, Wild Card China, you know, be able to go around the world and have these kind of homes of boxing where we're all over the world.
Well, I had no idea the big picture was so big.
Yeah, gotta think big.
Now, obviously, you're the creator, producer of On Freddie Roach. Mm-hmm. You've forged a personal, intimate relationship with Freddie. Yeah. So, let's say post Pacquiao, when Freddie is looking to expand, you're talking about taking him international. Are you going to continue a relationship with him? Do you have any plans to stay on camera with him?
Well, I mean, you know, Freddie's been a friend of mine for almost 20 years now. I mean, I care about him and love him like a brother, and I think that he's such a great ambassador for the sport. And if you know, one thing the sport definitely needs is more fighters. And if there were places like this gym in different places around the world that could be, you know, open and available to young kids that want to come in and learn about the game, so you get the next Manny Pacquiao, you get the next Canelo Álvarez, just walking through the doors. You know, our doors are open to kids of all different ages and races and classes. And if some kid walks in here and really loves boxing and wants to learn how to fight, you know, we can give him a support, and the idea of finding new fighters is exciting to me and to Freddie.
Do you train here personally? Is it now?
I do. I did a round with the champ on my birthday 2 weeks ago. One round with Canelo.
Really? Yeah. Really? Did you knock him out?
Did not go well for me at all. And he went at about 3%, and he hit me once. It was a soft jab, hit me square in the face, and it felt like I went to the best chiropractor in the world. Every joint in my body cracked at the same time. So I'm appreciative to the champ for not hurting me and giving me that adjustment.
Now, so people know, obviously, in Hollywood, that gym, Wild Card, is packed to the rafters, you know. Now, is this expansion intended for anyone that wants to train? I know that it was exclusive before. Is it exclusive now? I
mean, it's a club, so, you know, we have to go through a little membership selection process. We, you know, are, as I say, you know, as long as you're a good person, you're eligible to come train here. We don't like knuckleheads, you know, we don't like mean people. If you've got the right attitude, you know, boxing is not a sport that's done out of anger or hatred. There's, you know, fighters have to have respect for each other, and I think a real sense of, you know, love of the game. And as long as we feel that attitude is present, you know, we'll probably let you train here.
You know, you are one of the few guys that in Hollywood that are focused on boxing and bringing the sport up, you know, keeping it in the forefront of the, you know, American mind, even all the way back to Great White Hype, you know, which I should tell you, I was on the set of when I first came to Hollywood. I came to your set. I was in that movie. First of all, what do you think it's going to require in this next generation to keep boxing on the forefront, keep it a major sport with competition like UFC out now, and you know, all these athletes going to football and basketball? How do we keep boxing out there and keep it up front?
I mean, I think it starts with the fighters. You know, we need more fighters like Saul Alvarez. If we can find guys that are, you know, good role models, great athletes, and can bring the kind of excitement and athleticism that Canelo brings to the ring, you know, as guys like Manny and Floyd start to move on, I think the sport will do just fine. I think, you know, for anybody that understands the sport, there's so many differences, obviously, between UFC and boxing. Personally, I think boxing is so much more interesting, so much more strategic, so much more complicated, requires, you know, a very unique combination of athleticism and intelligence. And as long as we have young fighters like Canelo to come and be able to showcase those skills, I think the sport will do just fine.
And lastly, Peter, your vision of boxing and the eye that you have for the sport, not just in the ring and the drama that unfolds there, but outside the ropes, inside the fighters' minds, in their lives. You've been able to exhibit that with your work. Talk to me about what it is that draws you to the sport in that way, and kind of talked about emotionally how the sport affects you to be able to put it on that kind of a stage for the world to see.
Right. I mean, I'm privileged to have this gym and to get to know guys like Canelo Álvarez and his trainers, Chepo and Eddie, and really get a very comprehensive look behind the scenes at just how focused and intense these camps have to be in order to get the job done, in order to win. And to me, you know, we've been having the Canelo camp here now for almost 2 months. And to see the intensity start to grow and the focus start to develop as you get closer to a fight. And you see a little bit of it in, quite a bit of it in 24/7. I think HBO did a great job with that. But there's something so unique about watching a man get ready to go into that ring. It's you know, get as close as anything to combat, to war, and it requires such dedication and focus and commitment. And these are all values that I hold dear and I think are very inspirational. So I love being able to bear witness to it, and I love being able to try and present that as a message to as many people as I can. You know, the fight game still, I think, requires more discipline and commitment than any other sport that I know of.
You know, Peter, for me personally, and I'm sure I speak for millions of boxing fans out there, I want to thank you for your work, for your contribution to the sport. It's Radio Rahim with Peter Berg.